Hi, welcome. We are doing a very, very quick 5-10 minute overview of a marketing ecosystem. And I think this is one of the really, really important things for a lot of coaches who are new to the online world, are working in a commercial gym, looking to go online, or just kind of starting out within the first year. A really, really important concept to be aware of is creating a ecosystem of marketing and awareness for yourself. And this is going to be a really, really quick, basic explanation and visual so you can understand it and see it, and also find out where you're at currently and what you need to probably pick apart and add in. And we'll do future stuff as well for this. So I've just started off very, very quickly with, as you can kind of see here, we've got all of the awareness, and I've just used this kind of circle here to signify, like, this is your awareness. So these are your Instagram posts, your Facebook posts, your TikToks. When it comes from a social media perspective, maybe using LinkedIn, but the main areas you're probably going to be using are one of these formats and platforms. Now, one of the bigger reasons why we're kind of positioning this at the moment is because a hell of a lot of coaches start to think about, I post a piece of content, I get a paying client or paying clients. Okay. And that is probably the biggest mistake we can have a view on, or expectation on, should I say, right? I'm not saying this can't happen, doesn't happen, and won't happen, but there are different degrees of equity you build up with your audience, right? And to build up an audience with that much equity where you can post consistently and get clients consistently without running out of that equity within your audience, you're going to need a large, targeted, relevant audience following you. Usually, you're going to need around 500 raging fans that are really engaged with you. They've been through that process. So first thing is expectation of going from piece of content to client. Change that, because you will be let down and you'll be disappointed time and time again. And this is one of the things why I wanted to kind of do this really, really quickly, is to give you an overview of, like, okay, well, if that's not the case, what do I need to do, right? So first thing is, content to just clients directly is probably not what I would suggest you would place your expectation or efforts in. Not that you shouldn't be posting, right? Now, where does this come in? Well, first of all, your IG, your Facebook, your TikTok, your LinkedIn, etc. Yes, those are the high level, top of your funnel. If you think of a funnel here, right? We've got paying client down here, and we've got awareness here, nurture here, and conversion there. This outside area is going to be pulling people in that are going to start to be aware of you. Okay, know, like, trust, understand whether you're the right person. Now, what does that mean? You have to post relevant niche-based content, right? I'm not going to go into what that looks like now. This is just the concept and overview of an ecosystem. So we want to attract people in from an awareness point of view. Okay, so Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. If you're a gym floor trainer, do not ignore this, because this is still relevant. Walking the gym floor, interacting, free gym floor classes, networking the local community, business to business, partnerships, and obviously you've got paid ads as well. So we want to be pulling people into our ecosystem, our world, right? Now that's the top of the funnel. Now, these are people who are probably not at the point of ready to buy yet. They probably need a lot more trust. They probably need to be ready to make that change. They need to have a element of social proof from you to understand and believe they can do it themselves, and also you provide that service. Now, we've got to bring them into our world to be able to provide that. Okay. Now we bring them down into what we would call and class the nurturing section, okay, or the next part of the funnel, the middle part of the funnel. Now, that is specifically going to be to build up people's know, like, trust, value, belief, breaking down barriers for them, breaking down objections for them, reducing the risk. Okay. So as we kind of come into this next part of the funnel, let me see if I can just get another one here. Yeah. Okay, so what do we have inside of this? Where do we point people towards? Where do they go? Again, really important part of the funnel and process. Now, where do we want to take people from Instagram, Facebook, and paid ads and networking and classes and gym floor? We want to bring them into our world, right? So where we've got email, like I mentioned um, in the email I sent you, right? You're in that funnel. We've got challenges. Maybe they're coming in to do a 7-day challenge on learning how to do X. Maybe they're doing a workshop on the gym floor, right? Workshop. Maybe they're coming to a seminar. Maybe we're pushing them to a YouTube channel video to get more information, learn more, be able to apply more. Maybe they're coming on to a podcast. Yeah, maybe that you're doing a um, event or a talk for a company. Maybe we are setting up some community events. Yeah. Maybe we're putting on a in-house challenge or competition in the gym. Again, what are we doing here in these areas? Think about these next phases, right? Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. On social media, people are going to be watching you for seconds. Now, seconds isn't going to add up to a lot of time, short time, where people are going to be at the point to buy. That's why we want to be providing the opportunity to bring people into a place where it's more long form content, short form here, long form in there. Okay. And this is going to, imagine the difference between someone watching a 15-second reel and coming to a workshop for an hour with you on how to learn to lift. Imagine doing a Facebook post or a Facebook Live and someone turning up for your 7-day challenge to learn how to reset their mindset around menopause or fat loss or performance or whatever. Imagine that this Instagram post, which is 7 slides on a carousel, versus emails for the next 6 months. Yeah. Imagine doing a 45-second reel versus someone listening to 10 episodes of a podcast, which lasts half an hour each. The difference is massive. Now, that's not to say Instagram or Facebook is no place for it at all, because we need to get those points to get people into our world, which is the longer form content. And yes, this is work, right? This is a lot more work, a lot more time. And we've got that kind of inner circle, that next phase. If you remember, awareness phase, nurturing phase, and then we've got conversions in here. Now, conversions down here would be putting out strong calls to action, doing our launches, doing our campaigns, doing our front end offers, etc., to pull people into that point. Now, if we're constantly creating content on the outside, short form content, and creating opportunities in the local market, whether it's gym floor or business to business or partnerships, etc., and then we've got opportunities for people to basically binge on our content, right? Where it's podcast, email, YouTube, video, workshops, a webinar, a seminar every couple of months, a front end offer that cycles for every 3 months, whatever. We're giving people a reason to go from watching us 15 seconds or watching a reel or watching a story to being able to come into our world, so we can then nurture them, build up know, like, trust, break down the barriers of belief for them, lower the risk, prove we can do what we say we're doing, create relatability, so forth and so forth. So that brings the next level down. And then we present opportunities to then have experiences with us through the front end offers, through the challenges, through the launches, through the campaigns. So this is essentially, if we're looking at building an ecosystem, do you have to do every single one of these? No, absolutely not. But there'll be certain things where it might lend yourself, your strengths might lend itself to. So some people it might be podcasts, some people it might be YouTube, some people it might be workshops or challenges or emails, etc., or getting out in the community. You might cycle through these things, but getting some long form content now, set in stone to get people bought in from that short form or the awareness phase, is going to be incredibly important for your business. Almost you have to do this, some form of long form content, because otherwise that short form, high awareness element isn't going to build a sustainable, repeatable marketing process for you to be comfortable and secure in your business. So, any questions? I know this is quick, short, sharp, but hopefully this kind of explains a little bit further about maybe why the expectations of posting a bit of content and not getting a client is kind of not working for you. And what you do have to do, content to long form CTA or opportunity into clients. Yeah, huge. Especially now because we're in a more skeptical market. We've got more people that are savvy to sales, more aware, more solution aware as well. You know, lots of different solutions going on. So any questions, throw it in the comments, ping back to me. I'll be happy to kind of answer anything. And we'll do some more bits and pieces on this and break some more of this down over time. Okay.